All right, look, I know you've seen the title of this episode, but hear me out, all right? We are going to talk about print marketing for podcasters. And, I know that sounds weird, but please, just bear with me. It's not 1995, but we still got this. Don't worry. This all will become clear, I promise you that, because you know me, this is what I do. This, of course, is the Podcast Accelerator. I'm Mark Asquith, that British podcast guy and CEO and co-founder here at Rebel Base Media, where we make amazing podcast technology solutions to help podcasters to grow their show, whether it's the managed WordPress platform. You know, WordPress is the best platform in the world for building your website on, but sometimes you don't want to deal with all the hassle that comes with setting it up, managing it, sorting the updates out, linking up your podcast hosting, sorting out a theme, all that good stuff. Well, don't worry, we got you back. 24/7 support with our podcast website's WordPress platform. And of course, we make Captivate.fm, the world's only growth-oriented podcast host, where it just becomes easy to create and launch and grow your podcast. This is, I believe, and you know, the people that are reviewing Captivate also believe that this is the easiest podcast host on the planet. It's very, very simple, very, very intuitive, but very, very powerful, and the pricing options are amazing as well. It's one price for everything. So go and check it out, Captivate.fm. Now, remember when people said newspapers would die or the email is dead? Remember that? Oh, email's dead. Email's dead. Well, they said the same about print marketing. So why do companies still do it? Heck, why should you do it to build a listenership with your podcast? I'm not crazy. I've got some thoughts. We're going to dig into that in just a second. But before I do that, just a 10-second shout out to AWeber, the amazing email marketing platform that powers my email marketing that isn't dead. You know, I only work with people that have whose platforms that I've used and generally who have got the same outlook as me. It's why the Captivate Advisory Board are all fantastic people, and it's why we only work with people that we believe in. And AWeber is a company that I believe in. So please, if you're not email marketing for your podcast, you need to be doing it. Go and check it out, markasquith.com/AWeber. Now, every time I go to a conference, I get one of these swag bags. I'm looking at one now. It's from the Rain Summit in London. And guess what? It's full of printed stuff. So believe me, print is not dead. I still read the newspaper. I've got today's Golfer downstairs on my coffee table. I'm an absolute sucker for books. Like, I buy probably 4 or 5 books a week, which is a little bit ridiculous thinking it through. I subscribe to comics. I'm looking at one now, Doomsday Clock, DC Comics, which brings the Watchmen into the DC multiverse. And now I'm looking at our print marketing, 9 unconventional ways to grow your podcast. So whichever way you look at it, print marketing is all over the place. But when we think about podcasting, we don't think about print marketing. We don't think about marketing our show in any other way other than online, sharing it on social, blah, 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 boring. Everyone's talking about that. I get it. It works, but you've got to plan it out. It's got to be strategic. You've got to do it properly, right? What about print marketing? Well, listen, think it through, okay? One of the discoverability problems that podcasting has got is that not everyone knows about podcasting. So, you know, outside of the other stuff, not everyone knows about podcasting. So I truly believe that it doesn't matter your niche. It doesn't matter what you talk about, whether you talk about fishing, knitting, Star Wars, or politics. It doesn't matter what you talk about. Within your local area, in the places that you already frequent, there are people that would be interested in what you have to say on your podcast, but that might not know anything about podcasting. Like, what is this bloody medium? What is this thing? I don't know what it is, all right? I believe that there's an audience, a ready-made audience, pretty much on your doorstep, okay? And I believe that, print is cheap, all right? Go to printing.com or please don't use Vistaprint, they're shocking. Go to moo.com, go somewhere. You know, you've got a local printing company or you've got an online printer, wherever you are, there's no doubt it's cheap, all right? And I believe that with a little bit of investment in a decent designer, you can come up with a nice printed piece of material that you give out to people who wouldn't ordinarily know about podcasting. All right. And you can see this in so many different ways. Like, we've got stickers for all our stuff. Raf, who runs serve.vet, he's got stickers. That's his entire marketing strategy, is give away stickers. He's got a get one, give one campaign, which works really, really well. So what can you do for your show? Well, look, let's assume you're a business show. And I know I'm saying this, like, there's so many entrepreneurial shows, like, believe it or not, podcasting is not just entrepreneurs, but honestly, promise you. But let's use that as an example. There are so many networking events that you can turn up to. And so many people say, what do you do? Well, I run a podcast. I teach people podcasting, blah, blah, blah. Or, I do X, Y, and Z. Whatever you do, all right? Why not just in your bag always just have a stash of not just business cards, but promo cards, little A5 or A6 little mini flyers that teach people, look, here's what a podcast is. You've probably got a podcast app on your phone, or if you haven't, fire up Google, because guess what? You can listen directly from Google's search results. Here's what to search for. Here's what to look for. Here's an episode that I recommend. And teach people, guess what? Teach people to listen to your trailer, because then episode 24, 25, the episode that we then talked about, we talked about the ad retargeting episode 91. We talked about the listener acquisition flow. Get people from offline and migrating to listening to your trailer online. All right, there's a huge audience waiting for you that don't know about podcasting, but they will probably really enjoy what you do. I could go to a Star Wars convention, or I could go to Thought Bubble in Leeds, I could go to Comic-Con, and there will be a large percentage of people that don't know about podcasts. What that percentage is, who knows, depending on the current audience at any given event. But there will be a selection of people. If on the back of my stickers, I've paid a little bit extra to get it printed, the bit that you peel off. Oh, by the way, we've got a podcast. Here's where you go to listen to the trailer. It'll take 90 seconds. That's the link to it. Isn't that really useful? So it doesn't have to be complex, all right? I'm saying here print marketing. What I'm not saying is go and just post out a load of DM, a load of direct mail. I mean, you could try. It's probably going to be really bloody expensive. You'll not get too much back for it. But what I'm talking about here is getting creative. Print is not dead, all right? I used to own a printing company. When we owned Hacksaw Studio, we owned a photography company as part of that, and we owned a printing company as part of that. And believe me, print is not dead, all right? And as a podcaster, it's kind of simple. You do a really good design once, you get 1,000 A5 flyers. It's going to take you a while to give 1,000 out. Just make sure the design well and for the long term, and you will generate some listenership. But you've got to tell people exactly what to do. I have a podcast. This is what a podcast is. Here's the 3 or 5 steps that you need to take right now to listen to the trailer, and then in the trailer, make sure that's well designed to get them to listen to a curated episode. All right. We've talked about that plenty of times. So just think it through. It's not all about online. All right. Print marketing for podcasters exists. Seriously. I might be nuts, but I'm going to roll with it, all right? Give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. Let me know how you get along. Hit me up on Twitter at Mr. Asquith. And as ever, thanks for joining me here on the Podcast Accelerator. I appreciate everything that you do. I appreciate you emailing me. If you're on my email list, you'll get notifications about everything that we do, all the things that we do to help podcasters, and of course, about the new episodes that go out. Thank you to everyone that takes the time to reply to those. If you would like to learn how to grow your podcast, some 9 unconventional ways to grow, go and check out markasquith.com/grow. Please go ahead and check that out. And until the next time, thanks for joining me. And never forget, the more you expect from yourself, the more you will excel.